Hi there people, welcome to Frankenstein again. Today I'm in a really jolly mood because I had the chance to go to Harrods today and do some sniffing in order to commemorate my lightheartedness. I'd like to share a joke with y'all. Once I told to my sister that vanilla, the words in vanilla, if you rearrange these words of a vanilla, you can actually spell pirate. She pondered for a bit and said, "No, you don't." To that, I wittily said, "Of course, you do. You get a villain without an I." I hope the vanilla that we have here today isn't as bad as my vanilla joke. Let's go. Start with the presentation then. Comes in a golden box like this with Mancera written over here, and you've got Royal Vanilla, the concentration, which is eau de parfum. I think Mancera's, all of the offerings of Mancera is eau de parfum, and size 120ml. You've got some information in the batch code below and behind the box as well. Nothing much going on, and all of the Mancera packages are pretty much the same, like their bottles as well. And this is how the bottle is. Now before that, let me show you the pouch that it comes in. This is quite handy for the people who like to travel, and this tremendously compartmentalizes your luggage, because you wouldn't want to go around with a box. This is quite handy. You could travel with a pouch. Makes things portable. And as for the bottle, it comes in this beautiful golden color bottle. Feels like gold dust sprinkled all over, with a high concentration on the top, and below it kind of goes a little transparent. Neat touch, I like it. You've got Mancera written over here and Royal Vanilla as well. I think this bottle resembles Instant Crush as well, which is a huge, it is really high on my wish list personally. And on top you got cap, looking like a small pearl there. You got the batch code there as well, some information, and as always Mancera's legendary screw-on cap. Okay, that's about it for the presentation. And according to Fragrantica, this is described as a powdery vanilla exotic floral scent. This is a 2019 release, and the in-house perfumer is Pierre Montel. That is it for the presentation. As a total note, four notes categorized in Fragrantica. It is amber, Madagascar vanilla, got violet, and patchouli. Now, before I do a complete breakdown on the notes that my nose picks up on from this, I'd like to say a few words on Mancera House itself. This is actually my second bottle from the brand. I own a total of 3 Mancera as of today, and I have actually 6 or 7 on my wish list that I really want to buy. This is actually a quite beloved house for me personally, because of the value it provides. It has quality as well as the quantity. For a fraghead who's trying to test the niche side of things, I think this is a great house to experiment without paying that premium price normally niche fragrances come in, because this gives you the quality and the quantity, as in most of the niche houses actually uh, banks on that money by reducing the sizes. I see Aventus doing it these days. They've reduced their size, the bottle size, to 100 ml, and Nasomoto gives you 30 ml. Gallivant gives you 30 ml. So based on that size proportion, they actually provide you the most value for money, I think, because they normally come in 60 and 120 ml. and I would actually recommend going for the bigger bottle because that's more value for money. And with niche um, fragrances, some people are concerned with the performance category, because niche is actually a realm that is targeted towards a specific set of people who are more into the artistic side of things. But what Mancera and Montal does is they also provide you with performance, also encapsulates that um, artistic side of the niche territory. So it's best of both worlds on every quarters. So I'd really urge any new frag heads who are keen on entering the niche world to make an entry into that territory through this house, because this is a tremendous value. Now that I've said what I needed to, now let's get on with it. I've actually sprayed it 1 hour ago. Since a fragrance is all over me, I need to find the place. Yeah, here I have the dry down, so this place should be empty. Let me spray and give you my opinion on the opening notes. Yeah, let's do 2 spray. Spray is actually not bad. So right off the bat, from the name, there shouldn't be any misleading way to phrase this. Right from the get-go, you get the vibe that the start of the show is going to be the vanilla, obviously. You're gonna pick up that strong dose of vanilla right away. And then you'll have the floral, the violet will come to play. Initially, I think I get a strong dose of the violet and the vanilla. Vanilla here is actually quite syrupy sweet, but it's not unpleasant. It doesn't claw you. What this actually evokes in my mind is that, like, the scenario that this transports me into is when you enter into a cafe and when you order one of those hot beverages, let's say vanilla latte or hazelnut latte, when they open that bottles of syrup that has that flavor of vanilla, this is highly uh, evocative of the smell of that vanilla syrup. But what this kind of vanilla, what it does is, even though it's syrupy, you actually are not put off by it. I personally am not. And I think the note that contributes to that is patchouli. You won't detect the patchouli in the air, but if you put your nose to it, you'll find some herbal nuances. I think it's this patchouli that keeps the syrupy quality grounded, because normally when we hear syrupy properties, to some people, or for me personally, this Uh, this takes me back to the syrupy properties of dew palm, like where the sweetness is amped up, amplified, syrupy cotton candy sweetness, like really thick. This is thick, but it's not to the point that it's cloying. If I were to describe this fragrance to anyone, I would describe it as an exotic vanilla, an exotic syrupy vanilla bomb. That's how I would describe it. For the people who appreciates the note of vanilla and it really is in love with that, I think they'll really love it because of the way it's composed. It's a type of vanilla that's blended in a different way for me personally. As far as I've smelled vanilla, this is actually quite nice. And I think for any vanilla lovers, this will be a great go-to. And as for the people who I think this is appropriate for, even though it's marketed as unisex, I think the female audience would most likely rock it because you see the dent in it. Look at that. I think that's 40% of the fragrance gone, and 70% of that is used by my own sister. So that just gives away who loves it more. And on her personally, I find it quite exotic. Like it gives it's I smell that vanilla, but you get that Middle Eastern twist on it, so that is quite nice. And it has an incredible sillage, because once I recall her leaving my house, let's say around 30 to 40 minutes, and after she left, I entered the building, and all the way through the hallway and into the lift, I could smell this. And I actually texted her wanting to know if she left, and she said, yeah, it's been around, 15 to 30 minutes now. And I could smell it. So this is an incredible sillage. You'll have a nice bubble of it all around you. And this is quite long lasting as well. So it projects for around 2 hours on my skin, and longevity is around 10 to 11 hours. But I think a male who really loves his vanilla and who is trying to have a taste of vanilla done in a different, with a Middle Eastern twist, I think they would really love it. Occasions I see it relevant in would be hangout or social gatherings with friends, casual, highly casual, and casual dates as well. This could be quite sensual if your girlfriend or boyfriend, whichever you prefer, is into vanilla. And as for the rating for uniqueness, I'll give it 8.5 because of how the vanilla is blended together. For versatility, I would say it's appropriate for the colder days. So winter, fall, and even spring, I think you can get away with it. But for summer, I don't find it appropriate. So versatility, 7. And my overall rating for this would be 8.5, I think. 8. Yeah, no, not 8.5. Let's go with the 8. Because it suffers some hit because it actually leans towards the feminine side for me. So I'll give it an overall rating of 8. That was it. That was my review on Mancera's Royal Vanilla, and I think they have knocked. And this is a great release of 2019 and a great offering from this house. And as always, the Frankenstein. Yes.